It's Satnam. So welcome to this session. To make it easier on you, whichever device you're watching this, set it to speaker view so you can get a picture of the speaker and the slide presentation which we'll be doing. You will not be able to unmute yourself, or we will not be able to see you anyway if you try switching on your video, because whilst we love to see your faces, I think it just distracts from the speaker. So today's format is basically you're muted, you can't switch your video on, but try and set it to speaker view if you can. That's if you're using a desktop, there's a few buttons to the top right hand corner saying view, choose that, and then we can make a start. So today's session is all about reporting and how easy it will be once you get to grips with it. And to make you feel comfortable, to make you feel really comfortable about it, I'm going to take you through some simple steps. And first of all, I need to start sharing my screen, which is what I should have done. And I'm going to do it now. And we are here on this screen. And if you're watching this on your screen, the starting point, if you have never found out where all these things are, I would suggest you just go into Google, type Lions International. Simple as that. And there it is, Lions Clubs International. You need to go in there. This is our Lions Clubs International website. You need to get familiar with this. It's very simple. I find with most people, when they first come across a big screen like this, or any software, they just get overwhelmed by all the information on it. So just take your time and see where we are. And the thing you need to go for is up here, which says members login. If you click on that, you come to a login page. In this case, because I had already set up my passwords and everything, it took me straight into the thing. So basically, we'll discuss with you in a few minutes how to set that up. But once you're set up, you will be faced with this page, which is called the members portal. And you're looking at my portal, by the way. It says, welcome, Lion Viresh. It's got that's me here up in this corner. And what has it got here on the screen? It's got some service metrics, London Finchley. So that's because I belong to London Finchley. It's got London Finchley information here. And what I would suggest to you is to go in here and play around with it. It's very straightforward. But the thing we're going to focus on today are these two here, my line and my LCI. Yes. And in a minute, I'll tell you what the difference is between these two, because our speakers will take you through them. But what I'd like you to see is how simple it is just to get in and find your portal. And every Lion member, every member has their own portal, like mine. So I'm sharing mine with you. There is a button here which says take the tour. Try that. Get familiar with it. But let's look at these. My line, obviously, we're going to spend time on, but I want to spend just 2 more minutes on my LCI. It's available to officers of the club and district officers. So when I click on my LCI, it takes me to my page again, because it logged me. I was logged in. It's brought me in. It's got again my info here, my club details, my district, my Lions Club in the corner, my multiple district. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but just to tell you that there's so much information here available to everybody, especially if you're a club president, secretary, or a service, because all this information is obviously limited to the legitimate members of the club, officers. And if you click here, it says there's a message center, and it says select a different title. Why I'm showing you this is because in my particular case, I have information, because I'm the club service chairperson, I have information about my club. Your members will not have this information, but your secretary will, your president will. I also have 2 more things I can choose, because I have 2 other roles in the district. And if I had a role in the multiple district, I could have another session there as well. But just sticking to where we are, all this information is available to club presidents. Please explore that, get familiar with it. That is all I'm going to say about my LCI, because I'm now would like to close this down or go back to where we were and take you back to the members portal, because this is where all the fun begins for you. We are now going to explore today My Lion. And to speak about that, we have two of our members, and they're Doreen Carr, who is pastor. Oh, my
Yes.
friend, Doreen Allen. See, all my life I've known you as Doreen Carr, but Doreen Allen. My sincere apologies. And Penny Trigelis, we're going to take over from now. And if I can now switch on to my other screen, and here we are. Doreen is going to speak about how to report and celebrate service. Doreen, you're on.
Thank you, Viresh. And thank you for that simple introduction to the LCI website. It is really as simple as 1, 2, 3. So to everybody online this morning, thank you for giving up your time to attend this session on My Lion, My LCI reporting. It will be a joint effort between District Officer Penny, this year's service lead, and myself. At present, we know that almost 70% of our district clubs have reported something this year, and we do thank all club officers and administrators for their diligence with this. This session will help you understand how and why we report to Lions Clubs International, and it will be recorded, as Viresh said, and will be available on the website just to help you in the future. So may we go to the next slide, please? My Lion is the one platform that you can download free and use on your desktop computer, your laptop, your tablet, your mobile phone, or any device with a web browser. You can log into My Lion from any web browser. Initially, we will concentrate today on reporting past activities, meetings, service activities, fundraisers, and donations. And then we'll give you tips and shortcuts to help you save time. We will show you how quickly to report your service activities if you are a designated officer, and how to explore the local and global service data. Why should we report? Because it accurately measures our global impact and helps us share successes. It can identify the best ways to work together and brings attention to the great works of Lions worldwide. And we can connect with each other as we serve. Next slide, please. So if you haven't already created an account, you must first register. It's a simple process, and let's look through that process now. Next slide, please. Initially, this is the first slide you will see. Having clicked on Members Login, you will come to this page. Now, if you have already registered, you sign in. If you haven't, you need to register. Next page, next slide, thank you. Here are the details you will need to create your Lions account. You must know your membership ID number. If you don't, it is available from your Lions Club secretary, if you have forgotten it. Date of birth, hopefully you've not forgotten that. And then you select either your email address or your mobile number as your Lion account username. And be aware, please, that this must match the one on the LCI system. If you've changed your email or your phone number, your current club secretary needs to change it before you can register. Type in your chosen password, read the privacy policy, and the terms of use at the bottom. Click them and then press continue. Next slide, please. A code will be sent to your email or mobile phone, and you will enter it here and then again press continue. If there is a problem and you didn't receive the code, just click send code again. Thank you, Viresh. Next slide, please. Thank you. Now, there are 4 areas to report: service activities, fundraisers, donations, and meetings. Now, these are reported by certain lions. I will concentrate on reporting service activities already completed, because that is the reason most officers go to My Lion. The club president, the club secretary, the club service chairperson, and the club administrator are the officers that can report. But to avoid duplication, it is usually the club secretary. Next slide, please. The club administrator is a separate local club officer decided by the club itself. It is not obligatory, but it can help if a secretary is ill, out of the country, or is not a techie person. All clubs meet monthly, so even in quiet months, we should at least be reporting our club meetings. And reporting can be done at any time of the month, convenient to the Lion, after each event, on a weekly basis, on any chosen date, or at the end of the month. And a tip here: you can go back to the beginning of the year, the 1st of July, to report something if it has been missed. Next slide, please, Viresh. Thank you. Now, you'll see here Hemel Hempstead is highlighted. This is the club reporting page, as Viresh already explained in the very early introduction. It shows the reporting metrics. So here we can see that at this particular time last year, the club had served 5,674 people, completed 73 activities, and had donated $959. The system itself adds up the cumulative totals. We don't need to add anything up. It does it for us. We want to report a past activity. So look at the top line and click past activity. Next slide, please, Viresh. Having clicked this, reporting officers will see a report plus button on the right. This page would show the most recent past activities reported by MD Lions clubs. It's separated into 2 areas. The top lines of 10 activities are unreported activities. Now, I'll explain a little bit about this. If you report and do not complete a report, then you will see your report under unreported activities as a draft. You may think you've reported. This is just an aide-memoire. Check it regularly to make sure that your club, your reporting is not there. I've often seen clubs do many, many activities, but they go as unreported. LCI don't see these as reported activities. The bottom part is the reported activities, and here you will see the last 16 reported activities. Viresh, could we go on to the next slide, please? So this gives you the visual impact. So if you see the unreported activities, you've got 10 items there. And last year we can see, for instance, the first one is London Westminster, reported by Lion Elliott as an activity, but for some reason he hadn't completed, so therefore it goes in the unreported activity. It's a draft, not completed. And at the bottom, you will see all the other activities. And I say again, this is the MD activities. So you will see Coningsby and Tattersall and Bedworth, other clubs in the multiple district. Next slide, please, Viresh. So here we are on the reporting page itself. Now, a very quick tip, all the pink boxes need to be completed for an activity to be registered. So all the pink boxes. So you need to give the activity a name. For instance, collection of spectacles. The club details are already completed for you. The next pink boxes will say single day or multiple day. Here, you would choose whether it's an activity that you have completed on a specified day or over a number of days. Further down, the next two pink boxes will say the cause. Now, is it one of our 5 global causes? If you were to click at that arrow at the bottom, our 5 global causes would appear. And if it's spectacle collection, then obviously that would come under vision. And below that, the project type. And that would give you an in-depth project, various activities. Now, under vision, because this is spectacle collection, it would say eyeglass collection, maybe an eye bank, and various other activities that would come under vision. Next slide, please, Viresh. So once you have completed those boxes, you then come to the story, the description. What have you done and how have you achieved it? So you would do a brief description of your activity there. You would then, if you have a photograph, upload a photograph. Very easy to do, and it adds an impact to your reporting. You would then press the report button at the end. Once you've pressed the report button, you should see successfully submitted. If you don't see this, you've missed something. So just return back to the beginning and make sure you've completed all the boxes. If you do see this successfully submitted, press OK, and then you can move on to your next activity. Now, just an aid memoir. Give the activity a name, complete the date. What are you reporting? Is it an activity? Is it a fundraiser, donation, or meeting? And for what cause? Specific project. How many people have you served? A short description, click report, and when successfully submitted appears, click OK. Next slide, please. Now, these show the district metrics for last year. The metrics are just the figures. So there you can see how many people we've served under the various 5 global causes. Others is everything else. It can be your Christmas collection. It can be perhaps your duck race. It can be absolutely anything. Everything else apart from those 5 global causes comes under the other total. And there, the metrics have been added up for us, and we did a magnificent 6,229,044 activities. So, sorry, people served. And of that, District 105A, our share of the MD total was 22.4%. And last year we managed to get 98% of our clubs reporting, and they reported a total of 4,667. Next slide, please. Thank you. Just, oh, go back, please, Viresh. This shows the current reporting data, current reporting this year of clubs within 105A and the rest of the MD. And as you can see, I'm really pleased to say we are coping well with our reporting against the other districts. The reporting by district at the bottom says 69%, but I know we've just crept up on that. And despite us being one of the smaller districts in terms of membership, we are doing really well. And I think this is a testament to the district governor team and Lion Penny and her work in encouraging all clubs to do their reporting. Last slide, please, Viresh. So again, I just want to thank you for listening today. The presentation will be uploaded to our district website. If you have any queries or comments, the details of Penny and myself are there. We'll be only too pleased to help you. So together, fellow Lions, let's get our district to 100% of club reporting. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, put them in the chat and we will try to answer them later. Thank you, Viresh.
Thank you, Lion Doreen, for your presentation. I would like to back up what you are saying. If clubs do report, it's a way of sharing club activities or about what your club has been doing. Also, it helps the district officers so they can approach you and thank you for what you're doing and include them in your reports. Now, what I'd like to do is talk about a club administrator. As Doreen has said, the club president and secretary are the only ones, and well, we call it an activity chair, but it's a service chair, can do that. But if nobody else in your club, you can appoint another lion to do this. Next slide, please. Right, now to do this, you need to go again, we have talked about this, go into My Lion, and again, you will see the member portal, which everybody has access to. There is an arrow on My LCI. This is the area I'm going to be talking about. So you click on My LCI. Next slide, please. You will then see this slide. Again, Lion Viresh has talked about this. What I would like you to do then is to click on the one down the bottom, which says More Officers. Next slide, please. This will then show you this slide. And on the top, the arrow is pointing to the officer type. If you click onto this one, next slide, please, you'll see a drop box which will come down and you click onto local titles. Next slide, please. Again, you will see this, it comes as entitled officers and it says add officer. So if you then click on add officer, it's then come to, sorry, could we go back one slide, Viresh? Right, it says club administrator. On this one, it says this position is currently vacant. So you want to appoint one. You then click on to add officer and you will get the next screen. Right, now it is given club administrator is the title this year, 2022-23. What you need to do is choose one of your club members to do this. And if you click on to select member, you will get a list of your club members. You then select them and then you can save it and they can become your officer who become the administrative officer who can then report. So that leaves the president, the secretary, anybody else free and they can do the reporting. Thank you. Next slide, please. Another topic I'd like to talk about. Not only are we reporting service activities, donations, etc., Part of the role of a club is to report membership numbers. Next slide, please. And this is how to do it. Right, you again click on to My LCI. And you'll see information is going to come up, and this is about Tring Lions. And you will see this information here. Now, as you go down, you click on My Lions Club. Next slide, please. And you will get to see a drop-down box. You need to click on membership and you will see that all the lions in your club will come down. Right, next slide, please. You will then see three words that have been highlighted here. Add member, report no change for month, or drop member. Now, if numbers remain the same, you just click on report no change for the month. If you wish to add a member, you click on that one. And if you wish to drop a member, you will find there are different reasons that come up. You then take the appropriate action on that one and you save any information. Right. Thank you very much for listening to me. And if you have any questions of Doreen or myself, please pop them in the chat box.
So I can't see any questions. I think you've done a good job, explained everything. Are there any questions? I can't see anything in chat box. Maybe we can unmute everybody now. Satnam, and see if anybody wants to raise their hand. Click on the reaction button and put your hand up and I'll call you up.
Okay.
I can
Everybody
see one question,
Sorry.
Line Viresh.
Yeah, go on.
It's from Salil,
Mhm.
and he's asking, how would you report previous year's activities and how many years can you go back? Salil, once you've come to the end of a fiscal year, so once you've got to June the 30th, you have 15 days to go back and report anything that you've missed for that previous year. After the 15 days, the metrics are closed. They're added up and you cannot return and report any previous year's activities. So if you get to June, slip over into July of the next year and suddenly realize you forgot to report something, you have 15 days to report.
Good, thank you for that. Anybody else, any question?
I should say he also added, if you cannot go back, is it okay to report the previous year's backlog in the current year? And the answer is no, because we're obviously dealing with a new fiscal year. But thank you for those questions, Salil.
Excellent, good point there. So the main point I think that comes out of that is we need to do this regularly and on a monthly basis. So if you've done it regularly and on a monthly basis, then you won't have to go back to the previous year. And really the main point here is, I think if you find as a club secretary, you're not, if you like, comfortable with using your computers or technology itself, then appoint somebody in your club. And there are two positions you have available. One is a club administrator or the club service person. So in fact, apart from the club president, club secretary, you have two other people, 4 people can actually do it. Sorry. So 4 members of the club, is echo somewhere? Please, if you're not speaking, please keep yourselves muted. It helps. That's Chandrakant Devani, if you don't mind.
I am not sure something has happened
Doesn't
on the
matter.
screen.
Do you have a question?
I had a question, but I can't see myself or anything on the screen. Something has gone wrong.
Okay,
Anyway,
what's
my
the
question to Penny. Penny, membership reporting every month. If there are any changes, you add. If there are any minus, then you report accordingly. Now, assume that there has been no changes. Why doesn't the computer itself carry forward the previous month's membership rather than somebody has to report every month?
All I know is that you just have to click one button, report no changes. I do not know the reason that it doesn't automatically
Allow
go
me,
forward.
allow me to answer. Yeah, Saddam, you want to answer that? I can answer that.
I was just going to say the tendency with computer systems is if you do that,
Yeah.
nobody's going to report anything, and we're always going to have the same number. So reporting will go down to 0.
Yeah.
And international will merrily think that we got
Yeah.
1.5 million members. This
Yeah,
is a
thank you.
positive feedback loop. So you actively have to say, yes, we have still the same number of members.
Yeah, so you have to be proactive and actually do something is what they expect of you. So either it's very simple, just say no change, that's it, finished.
Thank-
You're done. You
Thank you for the explanation. Thank you.
But also the other relevant point is it comes up occasionally. Do it in the month. When you say there's no change, you will end up, if you did it, so now we're in November, in case you miss your October, to press the button in October, when you press the no changes, it'll record no change in November. So then it'll keep saying, no, nothing reported in October. You can't go back to October. Am I right, Penny? And
That's correct, yes.
so try and make sure you do this during the month. There is a facility I know to go back to the month previous and do it, but let's try and get in the habit of doing it regularly during the month. And those numbers are very important because those are the numbers we go by in planning things, in working towards various things. So at least get into the habit, secretaries or somebody in your club, to go and click on that number. So going back to where we started, are there any more questions? It's, first of all, you need to have access to the system. To have access to the system, you need to just know your membership number and give your email address or your mobile phone number if you're using it on a mobile, because that's your username. You can even use your mobile, by the way, to log into the desktop, but basically they are your identifiers or your login details. To verify you, that's double authentication. You will get either a message by email or on your phone to say, to verify it. Once you're in, then you have access to all the information. And the two areas are My Lion and My LCI. My LCI, just to again clarify, is for the numbers, for updating your club member details. Now, this point also comes up where members find their emails do not agree with the emails at the LCI Lions Club International record. What you have to do is then ask your members to give you their current email. As a club administrator, as a club secretary, you go there and update member details. As simple as that. Bring those up to date. If a member's address changes, change that. You have to make the change in My LCI. Because My LCI, if you think about it, is the major database of Lions Clubs internationally. It's the database that is available to district governors, to multiple district officers, to everybody. And that is your starting point. You need to keep that updated at all times. So Lions secretaries, please try and use that regularly. If you have any questions, obviously Penny's there to help you with this, with the reporting part. And we also have officers in the club district administrator, Steve Foote, who, if you have any technical problems, for some reason you can't resolve yourself, then please contact Steve Foote and he will sort it out for you, because he has access to the back end of the system, which even I don't have, neither has the district governor. But I think as a district, maybe district governor has, I don't know. No, she's shaking head. So Steve Foote has, he can actually get to the back end and sort things out for you. So it's not as frightening as it is as it seemed the first time you look into it. And I would suggest a very simple solution, which is what I suggest to everybody when they come across any new software or anything new. Try exploring it. Try playing around with it as you used to. If you're gonna when you get a new toy when you're younger, you start playing with it. And that's what it is. It's a toy. It's a new toy. We're all getting used to this technology. Start playing with it. And when you start playing with it, you'll find it's very simple. It takes hardly any time to report the membership numbers. It takes a little bit time, I grant you, to do the service activity reporters. But that's, again, they give an opportunity to do a draft form first. You can go back to the draft, which is unreported, add things to it afterwards. Once you got all the information together, do it. So what I would do, if I was your position, is as soon as an activity has been done, go and set it up, enter the basic details. You haven't got a picture yet, fine. Leave it as unreported. Come back, add the picture, add the story, add the numbers, then report it. Done. As simple as that. So
So,
anybody would
Viresh,
like to, yeah,
sorry,
go on.
Viresh, may I just add something?
Yeah.
One other reason, reporting membership regularly on LCI, very important. It's important to update the membership, especially the drops. Now, this year already, we've had 2 lions who have died, and the district did not know. We are a family of lions, and we would at least like to acknowledge the district's condolences to the family. So very important that club secretaries update the membership on a regular basis.
Good point. Excellent point.
Thank you.
Yeah, Penny.
As I say, I'm not a techie person. When I took over this role in July, it was like, oh, what am I doing? I have been exploring it, and as the district governor has said, and we laugh about it, if Penny can do it, anybody can do it. Yeah, it is possible. You make a few mistakes, but I'm getting there, and I think club secretaries, presidents, anybody else reporting on behalf of the club can do it.
Yes, Kev.
I was just going to say, you outlined the fact about logging in. It's very important that if you're going to use the email to log in, it's the one that you've registered with my LCI, because otherwise the database doesn't recognize you as a member of LCI and it won't let you register. I've had a couple of occasions where people have used a different email to try and register, and then they've said, oh, well, I can't get in. Well, the reason is that your LCI email is different to what you're trying to register with. And that's quite an important thing to remember, okay? And then I had to go into my LCI and give them the email address that they were registered with so that they could use it. So just be careful on that account. And the other thing is the administrator role or the service role is quite important, because often secretaries say, we don't have time to report, or I don't know how to use the system, it's getting cumbersome and whatever. But look, you've got other people in that club who can help you. So use them, give them something else to do, and actually get them to chase up all the reporting and report it. Okay. Just use all the talent that you have within your club to just make sure that this is going online.
And thank you for that, Kev. And can I pick up on that point about emails? We were very surprised, in fact, recently, when I tried to run a session for new members, to find that a number of the new members, a small proportion, I admit, did not have emails registered. Now, who is that down to? It's down to the person who actually added the member onto the database. If you do not put the name, email address of the person you admitted to your club, then that person doesn't exist as far as Lions Clubs, as far as the communication system is concerned. We can't write to them, we can't communicate with them, and if they become a club secretary or a club officer, they will not be able to log in, or they won't be able to access my Lion or my LCI. So please, club secretaries, would you mind going back, logging in tonight, go to my LCI, look at the list of members of your club and see where any information, important information like emails are missing. I would even get that printed report done and ask your members to verify those email addresses to make sure they're current and not out of date, because we use those emails to communicate with members. Those of you who are here on, coming to you, Harry, in a minute, those of you here on this session are here because we were able to write to you by email to tell you that there is a session on today about reporting. If we don't have your emails, we can't tell you that. Harry, unmute yourself. You're still muted.
We've got 2 members that don't have emails at all. They don't have computers. So you can't put them down because they don't have an email.
So unfortunately, they will never be able to log into my Lion or my LCI.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, you know.
I know, I accept that. I accept
But
that.
you wouldn't be able to write to them either, would you?
No.
Other than their address.
Mm. Which unfortunate is where we are at the moment.
And there are other members
Mm.
that have said they don't want their email on there.
Well, then I think that's a case of persuading them why we need them, or explaining. Okay, so if you got, first let me deal with the people who have emails. And the same thing applies to those who do not want to give their emails. Then they need to be aware that they will not get the communication, and
Yeah.
they need to ask their club secretary to keep them notified of
Yeah.
anything important. It's got to be a two-way street there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good. So I think we run out of questions. Any comments, anybody, before we ask the district government to say the final word? Over to you, Cap.
Right. Well, good morning, fellow Lions. Firstly, I'd like to thank Penny and Doreen for the input this morning and how easy it is to use my LCI and my Lion for those who've not used it before. I know there's many people who have used it before, but I hope you picked up the points, some tips today as well. And thank you, Doreen, for highlighting why we need to report. It's not just that the district wants to know, it's sharing what we do with the rest of the world as well, and sharing what we do within the district, pick up other service activities that others are doing and learning from each other. And it's quite important to do that. I'd also like to thank Viresh and Satnam, always working in the background for us, making sure that the webinars take place and the introductions take place and so on. But lastly, and not least, thank you for giving up your time this Saturday morning to be with us. And I hope you've picked up a few tips. And remember, we're always here. Penny's been looking at reporting not taking place. She's been personally contacting the secretaries to say, look, how can I help? I can help. Leslie can help. Kadu can help. We're all here to let you get the best out of what is a database that we all should be reporting to. And the only other thing Viresh will as well, remember we've got a unique opportunity tomorrow for our Health and Wellbeing Summit, not just for Lions, but friends, family, relatives, etc. Just to say that, look, you've got experts coming in. I think many of us face the same problem. We can't see our own GP at the moment, but you've got a range of GPs and doctors tomorrow who will give you some expert information on the various topics that are being covered. Once again, thanks for being here and thank you for coming this morning.
Actually, I've just seen a message from Kishore Patel, which I think we need to address. If I can share my screen. He says, no, this is not the screen I want, sorry. Kishore says, how do you update information? Is that right? Yeah, he says, there's no email address added. How do you put them on? I think you can go back and add things. I'm trying to, sorry, where are we?
Viresh, I'm happy to
Speak.
speak to Kishore.
Yeah.
If he can email me.
Yeah, I think it's very simple. I was going to demonstrate it to you, but go into my LCI, look at under your club members, click on the member concerned and add the details. It's as simple as that.
I think that's the way that you do it, but I would have to try it. But if Kishore could email me on tregillis@hotmail.com, I'll try it and then I'll get back to him.
Good. Excellent. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Large numbers. And if you still haven't advertised it, please do it. We've got plenty of time. Let's get some more people on that. We have over 100 people registered for tomorrow. I hope to have more than that attend, if possible. Thank you once again. We can stop recording now, Satyam.